Welcome everybody to this presentation of First Stage. First Stage is a previous tool meant to be used by studios and a single user to produce pre-production element to showcase how animated project can be. An animated project starts with a storyboard that needs to be created in order to describe the storytelling in a visual way. So, starting from that, a director, an animation director, and a storyboarder works together to bring to life the concept defined in the story, in the script. So, let's have a look at the script that we want to show today that is based on a project that we are producing here in-house that is called Lottie.
Meet Lottie, your average 8-year-old girl. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing particularly different about her.
Uh-oh.
Maybe there actually is something special about Lottie.
So you just had the chance to see the storyboard of the teaser of Lottie, and we now want to bring you into the layout step that is the actual step that will be produced in First Stage. The layout is the moment in which we bring the 2D animation done by a storyboarder into the 3D domain. This means that we start working with assets that are created upfront in our production software, and then we bring them together together with the props and all the characters that are needed to create the actual staging of the environment and the cameras that are needed for the future animation to be done in the next step of the production. So let me start pretending to be a layout artist and dress up the scene. So here we are into our beautiful environment that is the backyard of Lottie, where our action will take place. For the purpose of this demo, of course, we picked up just a couple of shots to demonstrate to you how this works. So as you can see here in this moment, we are playing some shots from our actual layout done in Maya. You can see how it works, but yet it's not really pleasant to see. So the more accurate the environment is, the better we can frame the camera. And the ability that First Stage brings to us allows to have a very good looking environment in which we can see all the colors, all the elements that are needed to judge our layout. And now we want to add all the props that are needed to produce the actual layout. So let's go into our database, and we want to have a look at the elements that are into our project that is called Lottie. Okay, here we are. Let's start adding our first element, that is the magnolia tree. Let's put it here. Now that we added the tree, we want to make sure that we have the right position of the tree and we can fine-tune the actual angle. Okay, and now that we have the tree, let's add also our trampoline. Here is the trampoline. Let's put it here. Let me put myself in a position in which I can see from the angle that I want to reproduce how the trampoline would look like. Okay, and maybe it has to be a little bit more here. Okay, and now let's scale it a little bit up. It's too small for our purposes. Something like that should do the work. And now let's add the other elements. So the first one is the rope. Rope, where are you? Here you are. Okay, and let's add our friend Ace. Hey Ace, say hello to everybody. Beautiful. Okay, so let me add it here. Good. So now that we have our characters and we have all the elements that we want, we need just to add our main character, that is Lottie. So as you can see here in the database, we have two versions of Lottie. This one in front of me that I'm highlighting at the moment is a version that allows motion capture actions, while this one that is just on my right side is a version that looks like a statue. For this specific purpose, I will take this version of the character. So what we want to do is to let her jump up and down like that. And first stage actually allows us to do exactly this kind of action. Very fast, very easy to use. We can create the animation in a matter of seconds. Okay, so before we actually start the animation, let's frame the camera. Here is the camera. Let me go into the camera so I can see from that camera angle. So I moved from the standard view to the actual camera view. Okay, let me go a little bit closer. And here we go. Okay. We framed the camera with all the elements that we wanted. Now we need to add one last element, that is the ball that she is trying to catch. Here, let's add the ball. Here is the ball, more or less here. And now let's put myself in a way in which is easy to manage the ball. So I just need to select the camera, select the object that I want to move and frame properly, and here it is. Done. Now we want to add the second camera. That goes here. Okay, let's enter the camera. Closer, down, open the angle a little bit. So let's get out of this camera and let's have a look at the camera available. 1, 2, 1, 2. It seems like we set up the layout, all the elements are staged, and we are now ready to start the so-called rigid body animation. Rigid body animation is a very playful approach, super easy to use, and with just a matter of a group of gestures, you have the full animation done. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so I will put myself in a position in which it's easy to grab the character and move it up and down up to the moment in which I'm able to reach the ball. So here is a little bit too little. Let's go here. Good, that would work. Select the right camera, and selecting the right tool, that is the animation tool, we can just grab the character and start animating. Ready, steady, hop, 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 hop. Good. Let's have a look at it. Boing, boing, boing. Good. So we have the actual animation of Lottie. And now we want to see the reaction of Hayes and the rope based on how Lottie jumps. Same approach. We put ourselves in a comfortable position. Let me make myself a bit smaller. Okay. So with a multi-selection tool, we can select all the objects that we want. Maybe this is a bit too much. Okay. And we can go back in the animation mode and grab them and start. Let's have a look at the second camera. Boing, 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 boing. Good. Let's have a look at all together. Boing, boing, jump, and jump. And that's it. As you can see, in a matter of seconds, we literally animated our characters. So to do the same in a normal standard production workflow, it would have taken much more time. Okay, good. Let's have a look at how everything runs. So if we play the shot here, we see that the characters are jumping, but actually the camera doesn't really follow the animation. So let's have a fast animation that fixes the issue. Let's go straight to the last frame of the animation. Here we go. And we can easily animate the camera to go here and more in front. So let's replay. Oh, what a beautiful animation. So now we have two cameras, both angle that we wanted to see from our layout process. with all the characters animated in a matter of minutes. The next step is to see how it works in the editorial step that will allow us to see the shots next to each other and prototype how it would work in the final edit afterwards. Once the layout artist completed his work with the camera and the animation of the character, he wants to see how the shot flow once next to each other. In order to do that, First Stage allows us to use a simplified editing tool that exactly represent the action that will be then done by the editor in the next phase of the production. So let's have a look at how this works. So here we have multiple cameras that represent the actual camera that we just recorded, and we can have a look at them, insert them on a timeline, and decide when to cut between the first one and the next one. So, for instance, we would love to stop somehow here and add the second camera, and let's have a look at how it should work. We look at the record monitor, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, and cut. And then we can cut back to the first shot again. So, as you can see, it's a very simple and intuitive tool to define the length of the shots, verify which camera comes first and which will be coming next. And with this approach, the director and the layout artist, they not need to go already in the editorial room to have a rough overview of how the sequence flows. Of course, First Stage is not meant to remove artistic position into a project, but is meant to support a part of the process that needs some decision making before we move forward to the next step. An editor still is a super important figure into the process, but we don't need to go back and forth between one department to another just to see if overall everything matches. The editor is still super important to produce the final cut and define together with the director what goes when. The introduction of First Stage in the animation environment will be a groundbreaking approach and a groundbreaking solution. Even though it's still in its early stage, and of course there is a long way to go, we have still 1 year of development time before we end up the project, we already see how much is possible to achieve and how fast people can interact just because of the real-time environment that we introduce, and because of the collaboration that is possible within the same tool with multiple people looking at it at the same time. So far, we've been showing you how to approach the animation in First Stage using rigid body solution like a puppeteer would do. But now we want to introduce you to the next solution that is available in First Stage, that is the Rococo suits that Vladimir, our performer, is dressing today. So, using the Rococo suits, we are able to stream directly in First Stage the action that he has to reproduce. He will pretend to be Lottie, and let's see how it goes. Good, we are here again into our environment in which we want to add our character, Lottie, ready to be animated with the Rococo suit. Let's add the character. As we said before, we have a version of the character, this one, that is ready for the rig that will be used to animate her. Let's put ourselves a bit on the side. This is the next shot actually after the one that we already produced. And let's connect the character with the suit. Here we are. Good. Hi, Lottie.
Hi.
Hello. Good. So now I'm dressing the, let's say, the shoes of the director that wants to explain our performer how to act this shot. So Lottie is turned around. She shows her shoulders, and she will turn on the right and scream at the screen. Can you please, Lottie, turn yourself on the left? Good. And at my action, please turn yourself 90 degrees on the right and scream like that. Action. That's perfect. Okay, that's what we want to produce. So go back in position, please, and let's start recording. So here, let's start from here. Ready, steady, action. Okay, that's it. Good. Let's replay the shot so we see what's going on here. Good. So now that we have this action that is already recorded, our character is ready, everything is done, we can add one last camera and see how she looks like through the camera. Okay, that's better. Let's get into the camera and a little bit up here. Okay, that's it. Okay, a bit wider angle to start. Okay, so this is the moment in which she actually starts. So we expect to see this from here. Then when she turns around, we have a little bit more camera rolling in front of us, going further close to the character. Okay, then the moment in which she turns around, it's super fast and we zoom in. Let's frame her better. Okay, and then we go up to the end, in which we still keep going slightly in front of us. Okay, good. That's it. Okay, I think this action should be a bit faster, so we can easily adjust the position of the keyframe like that, so this can be faster. Whoop. Good. I mean, we still can refine a little bit more. Boom. That's it. Here it is. We have a fully motion captured animation of Lottie that is screaming in front of us and is recorded in our camera. Thank you.